today's video, we're going to be taking a long-range look into the month of July, where we're going to be seeing basically what the temperature and precipitation patterns are both going to look like. So this is a very exciting video. I'm very excited to be presenting it to you guys, and we're just going to be breaking down the overall pattern. So be sure to check out the Prestige weather, by the way. We do have that in the description, pin comment down below, where we have early access to our fall and winter forecasts that are going to be coming out in a couple of days. So you're going to want to check that out today. Let's get into things. And as you can see, we're taking a look here at our past 30 days. So basically how mostly just June went. And as you can see, cooler temperatures here in the east and cooler temperatures out west, and really just a couple of different areas, including the northwest and the north central, as well as the south central, dealing with these warmer temperatures. So really sparse, I would say, with the warmer temps, and very, very much so more widespread with the cooler temperatures is the theme here. And that's what we're seeing a lot of here as we take a look. So we see a downtrend in the temperatures for a lot of these areas over that time period. And actually, it's pretty significantly below average here for a lot of these areas, looking at 1 to even 10 degrees below normal over a 30-day period. Very, very significant stuff, and this is what we've been calling for so long now. Here is how the precipitation has been over the past 30 days. And as you can see, below average across a lot of these areas in the Central Plains into the Midwest. So much drier than what's typical for these areas, even, 3-5 inches, maybe even below normal. So significant departures from what's typical in these areas. Northwest has been a bit drier as well. And then we can see areas just to the east and even over the Rockies here into a little bit of the plains have dealt with far above average precipitation. So states like North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, all of these areas have seen above average precipitation. And for most of them, it's been very, very significant, matter of fact. As we take a look here at the East Coast, we can see that the East Coast, and if you take that back into the Ohio Valley, we have seen above average precipitation in this area as well. Most of this has started over the past 15 days or so for these areas, as things have really, really been ramping up for these folks. Definitely been a far, far above average precipitation type of pattern that we have been stuck in. So certainly very interesting. Now, this is the part of the video where we're going to take all that information and kind of break down the upcoming weather. So we're going to really dive into this now. As you can see, as it stands right now, we're going to go over our European ensemble model. We do have an Arctic blast on the way, and that's what a couple of videos ago was about. As you can see, this cold air is really going to move into these areas, and we're going to see a reinforcement of the warmer temperatures along the west coast here. So a big time displacement of that cold is on the way. As you can see, by the time we're reaching even towards the 10th time frame here, right around the 10th, we see that there is significantly below normal temperatures taking over most of the central and the eastern United States there, and then a huge uptrend in the temperatures up the western United States that you can see. This fiery red color here is indicative of an extremely strong positive PNA, and the cold diving southward in the central and east is also very indicative of a positive PNA. So this has just been the pattern that we have been pretty consistently stuck in. As we approach that 15th time frame, we can see that this model is a little bit less confident. It is a ensemble model, so it is going to lower in confidence over time as all the different models start to disagree a little bit more within that ensemble. So this is like 30 different models and put together a mean average. That is what we're looking at here. Certainly very interesting stuff. As we move on and keep going here, we can see that by the time we're reaching about the 20th, we see an averaging out of the model run. Coast to coast warmth, probably not going to happen this way, and certainly only time we'll be able to tell, but I'd say the least cold is going to be here, and then along the west coast, obviously, where there is some blue popping up even. But only time we'll be able to tell what that pattern is going to look like by the 20th, but I see some high uncertainty here from this model. So we're going to have to move on to a more extended model in a moment. Here is the precipitation anomalies, the 5-day precipitation anomalies. And as you can see, as we take it towards the kind of, I would say the 7th through the 12th time frame here is probably what we're looking at. You can see above average precipitation for all of these areas. So Kansas, Oklahoma, eastward towards the northeast here. And down through into the kind of southeast states as well, we're seeing a lot of these higher amounts of precipitation. And then looking at pretty much normal precipitation out west, some drier pockets, but pretty close to average, it appears, is the trend here that we're seeing on the models. And let's just take a more extended look at this. So here's the European extended model, the weekly model, and this is going to take us a lot further. So here is the 7-day from the 13th through the 20th. As you can see, looking at above average precipitation here for the Northeast, down through the Mid-Atlantic, and even back into the Ohio Valley. So all of these areas, taking a look at those. And then just to the south of here, actually along the Gulf, we have much more dry conditions. From Texas eastward through to the Carolinas and southward towards Florida, dealing with much drier conditions. Very, very interesting. As we take this from the 20th through the 27th here, we can see far above average precipitation possible for the East Coast, and then a much more dry time frame here for the plains again in the Midwest. So potentially just going to go down as a dry summer overall for these areas if this continues. Definitely looking like a majority of the time frame is looking that way. As we reach the first week of August, here is the look again. Still the East Coast dealing with these above average precipitation amounts. Still a little bit of dryness here. A downtrend, we'll do down arrow there, and then an up arrow here in the east, and that is kind of the trend here that we're still seeing. And we're gonna take it from the 7th to the 14th here. And look, we're seeing a lot of the same. I mean, I'm seeing some greens in here. Clearly, this model is getting very unconfident as we're not seeing any big opinions. But we are seeing a dry spell still over the upper Midwest. Still seeing this above average precipitation along the East Coast. So that at this point looks to continue. Then as we take it towards the 19th, we can see a lot of the same. So still dealing with the above average precipitation here for these eastern folks. Still dealing with the drier conditions here for the Midwest, it appears. As we take a look at the temperature version of this longer range look, we can see that this cold air moves in, and by the time we're reaching the 20th, we see this kind of warming trend back on this model. But look at what happens over time. As we take a look at the end of July into the beginning of August, we see warmer temperatures for most of the west here in the central United States as well. And then we can see some cooler temperatures here for the Northeast still taking place. So definitely a lot of the same of what we've been seeing. And as we move this even further towards the end of the model run, we can see a warming trend across the west and the central states. And it's mostly here along the East Coast where there's some uncertainty, maybe some room for some cooler temperatures, which is a lot more on par with what our July forecast is. But this is for the 12th through the 19th of August. So certainly looking like that cold to neutral temperatures might continue all the way through the end of summer here for the East Coast. Super interesting stuff, guys. It's been really, really awesome taking this long range look with you guys. I hope you all are excited for what's to come. It's looking like we're going to see some ups and downs, but pretty much a lot of the same as well. It looks to be the story here overall for the rest of July and even into August as a bonus. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like the video if you enjoyed the long range look. Again, check out the Prestige weather for those one-on-one type situations. We can definitely hook you guys up with some consultation on the weather and also the early access to the fall and winter forecast. And obviously through the year, more early releases to come. So we're going to be doing that every single time basically. So be sure to check it out. It's only $5 a month, so it's very, very affordable. It's in the description and pinned comment down below. Anyway, be sure to subscribe for daily uploads just like this one. Also, you can hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.